Okay, this presentation is about the virtual space analog missions by Habitat Marte, an evaluation and some information about virtual missions. Also, opportunity to share what we are doing. The virtual missions are a great opportunity to participants in many parts of the world take part and not necessarily travel to Brazil to take part of one of our in-person missions. Habitat Marte presents a physical infrastructure based in the corner of South America. I live in the coast, in a city called Natal, but this station is based in the countryside, it's 100 kilometers from Natal. One of the challenges is to think about the sustainable human presence on Mars. And you know that these depend of exhaustive research based in analog habitats. And our part of our challenge is think about how these learnings that we are having in the operation of Space Analog Station Habitat Marte can bring new ideas in terms of operation of future space habitats. The first mission occurred in December of 27. In this case, we are achieving 5 years of operation of the analog station. The people flying from Asia and Europe, the best airport, the best way is from Lisbon. It's a direct flight to Natal. Also, there is many flights arriving in São Paulo from São Paulo to Natal. In the location, there is two infrastructures, the Habitat Marte Space Analog Station, in a second structure called Lava Cave Habitat Rock Formation to simulate a lava tube. I developed during the missions more than 80 protocols and around 30 different surveys. This is one recent photo of one of the last missions showing the expansion. We are creating a dome in one of the sides of infrastructure. And also recently was installed a swimming pool. It's called the Infrastructure for Underwater Extravehicular Activities. This part of our infrastructure. Habitat Marte is operating as a self-sustaining habitat. This is very connected to smart sanitation when we are collecting the rainwater, also treating the sewage, and the food produced in a closed system, the operation of the solar energy, and also the great attention related to health. All of these aspects are operating aboard of International Space Station. As you can see, the urine processing assembly, the UPA, also a greenhouse called VEG, and the solar panels in many research related to health, space health. And in our way, also we are doing some experiments related with these aspects too. Some photos of some inner activities, intravehicular activities. And also happens some extravehicular activities, and we just received participants from Chile, Mexico, Poland, Mexico, one of the last crews, and recently, November of 2022, a crew with participants from Israel. What happened more than 2 years ago, in the beginning of 2020, was the spreading of COVID in the world, and this brought great worries about the transmissions between the disease between members of the crew, because in Habitat Marte, in our physical installations, we are sharing a confined environment, and if you have a person sick, this probably spread to other participants in the crew. And since this, we discussing, I and David discussing, we had the idea about methodology for virtual missions, how this would be operating, because becomes a little difficult about think in terms of the having these missions in person in Brazil. And was developed a methodology of virtual missions that we'll be talking more. And in that moment, during March of 2020, happened 6 missions, totalizing 32 missions, and also we had 22 participants until March of 2020. Also, other data like the hours of simulation and quantity of days during the year. And the idea about the operation was think about a station on Mars and how would be the features of this infrastructure of a future space station. And in this idea, in this perspective, we imagine a station with 7 facilities. This imaginary station present the launch center, the main station, the health facility, the greenhouse, the sanitation center, the engineering facility, and the power station. In this case, during the mission, during a time like sometimes 1 week, sometimes 10 days, depend of the number of participants, we establish a program when during the meetings called Capcom, the participants will share how they imagine the operation of each specific facility in this station on Mars. The challenge is imagine a threat of a virus in the Mars station. And during the mission, each member of the crew necessarily will be responsible for a specific facility and need to stay isolated in a specific one of these facilities in the station on Mars. Also, something interesting is in reality, we are based, each one of us in a specific place on Earth. And in this case, the idea in terms of imagine each one of us stay isolated in one facility is also related to think how we can keep the good state of mind, also having collaboration. And part of this collaboration interaction between the members of the crew is happening in a group of WhatsApp when we are sharing the details and guidelines about the operation of this space analog virtual mission. And some positions that we have during the missions, like the engineering center, sanitation center, greenhouse, power station, main station, launch center, and also the main station. The participants need to think about some aspects related on virtual missions. These aspects are connected to think about the internal design, the applied technologies, the management, how would be the positions of each specific infrastructure, what would be necessary, the protocols, and at least the spin-offs, some technologies and practice aboard of the station that would be applied on Earth. Since this, we started to have participants from many countries. Also, many of these researchers, we keep the interaction between them. And also, I'd like to show like one example on mission that happened during June and July of 2020. And something very interesting during the International Astronautical Congress was have the opportunity to connect in person some of these participants, like the Ghani from Kuwait. Also, other example with Jazz from England, David from Brazil, Maria Nassif from Canada. And in this specific mission in June of 2020, we had the participation of Dr. Cyan Proctor as an invited researcher. And I'd like to show here, we have a photo also with Dr. Cyan Proctor, as she participating in our mission. Also, she was talking about how would be the importance of nutrition and have fun in terms of the preparation of the meals. And was very interesting because in the next year, during 2021, she was selected to take part of the mission of SpaceX, the mission Inspiration 4. And we become very happy because she was one of our virtual participants in a space analog mission. In this case, also during July of 2020, during the moment of the launching of Perseverance rover, we had the participation of Marcos Pontes, a Brazilian astronaut, and now as Brazilian senator, and was very interesting too. Also, Professor Thais Russomano was one of the members of one of these missions. The participation of Professor Thais Russomano was in a mission related more specifically with space health. Also, I and the viewer invited to a program in Facebook. We were invited by Professor Simon Proctor to talk about the meals on space, and was a program called Space Snacks. Example of partnership with Brazilian Space Agency, when we have the Brazilian Space Agency had the whole of advertise a virtual mission, a special call to participants many parts of Brazil. And just to conclude, and part of the reasons about we have this presentation today, it showed the evolution in terms of numbers, because like 30 months ago, we had 32 participants and 6 missions, and around 100 participants. And now we have 134 missions, more than 100 missions. A great part of these missions were done in a virtual way, and more than 800 participants. And it just to show that the virtual missions were very important to, we expanded our presence and also build connections with participants in many parts of the world. And at least something important was the participation of women, also related with Sustainable Goal 5. In this case, we have more 300 women participating in our missions, and the human presence are related to 36% of all participants. And these are some countries that just participating in the virtual missions. And also recently we have a participant from Israel. And now we just established a calendar for in-person missions, but if someone has the motivation to participate in a virtual mission, we can present more details about. Also in this announcement in our Instagram, there is a QR code to my WhatsApp, also more bigger, and more details can be seen in our Instagram, okay? And thanks so much for the attention, and I'm concluding the recording.